Om Swastiastu. Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope all of you are doing very well. I'm Ari and now I'm going to tell you a story that's very interesting. The title is Cinderella. I'm sure all of you have known about the story, but let me remind you again. Once upon a time, there lived a girl called Cinderella. She was very happy living with her father and mother until her mother had died and her father had married a widow with two daughters. But her father also had died. Her stepmother didn't like her one little bit. But for the very poor and unhappy girl, there was nothing at all. Her stepmother has two daughters, and they were very bossy. No rest, no comfort. Cinderella had to do all the works all day. Sweep the floor, mop the floor, wash the dishes, and also wash all the clothes Cinderella done alone. Cinderella! Shouted one of her stepsisters. Yes, I am. What happened? Asked Cinderella. Why don't you wash all my clothes? I have to use this right now, said her stepsister with very angry. Cinderella cannot do anything. She was very tired of all the works. And then her stepsister said, I don't care. You must wash all my clothes right now, said her stepsister. And then Cinderella just followed the instruction because Cinderella didn't know things to do. Cinderella used to spend long hours all alone talking to the cat. The cat always say, meow, which really meant, cheer up, you have something neither of your stepsister has, and that is the beauty. It was quite true. Cinderella, even dressed in old rags, was a lovely girl, while her stepsisters, no matter how splendid and elegant their clothes, were still clumsy, lumpy, and ugly, and always would be. One day, they were invited for a grand ball in the king palace. But Cinderella's stepmother would never let her go. Her stepmother said, you just staying at home, wash the dishes, scrub the floor, and prepare the bed for all of us, because we will be very tired and also sleepy, said her stepmother. Cinderella cannot do anything. She also asked to sew a new party gowns for her and her daughters, and also to prepare and curl their hair. They then went to the ball, leaving Cinderella alone at home. Suddenly, something amazing happened. As Cinderella was sitting all alone, there was a burst of light and the fairy godmother appeared. Hi, Cinderella. Don't be alarmed. I know what you have to do. You must go to the palace, said the fairy godmother. What do you mean? How can I go there just dressed like this? Cinderella replied. The fairy godmother smiled, and with a flick of her magic, Cinderella found herself wearing the most beautiful dress and also a pair of glass slippers she just has never seen before. Now, Cinderella, for your coach, you have to bring me one pumpkin, said the fairy godmother. Cinderella, and then grabbed the pumpkin and gave her the pumpkin to the fairy godmother. With the one click, the pumpkin had turned into the sparkling coach, and then the fairy godmother saw 7 mists, and then turned the mist into 6 white horses, and the 7 mouse turned into a coachman with a smart uniform and carrying a whip. Cinderella could hardly believe her eyes. Now, Cinderella, you shall go to the palace, and you have to remember something. You have to go home before the midnight because all the magic will be disappeared. You will dress in the rags, and then all things, the coach, the coachman, and the horses will turn back into normal, said the fairy godmother. Cinderella just understand and then say thank you very much to the fairy godmother. And then Cinderella had went to the palace directly. When Cinderella entered the palace, everybody was struck with her beauty. Nobody, not even Cinderella's stepmother or stepsister, knew who she really was in the pretty clothes and shoes. Suddenly, the handsome prince also saw her and also fell in love with Cinderella. He went to the Cinderella and asked, "Do you want to dance with me?" Said the prince. Cinderella just wanted to dance with the prince. Cinderella was very happy dancing with the prince, and she almost forgot about what the fairy godmother had said. At the last moment, fortunately, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's words and she rushed to go home. "Oh no, I must go home right now," said Cinderella. She cried and ran off the palace. But one of her glass slippers came off, but Cinderella didn't want to pick it up. She reaches home just as the clock struck to 12. Her coach turned back into a pumpkin, and the white horses and coachman turned back into a mist. Her stepmother and stepsister reaches home shortly after that. They were talking about the beautiful lady who had been dancing with the prince. And then the prince, still thinking about Cinderella. The prince had fallen in love with Cinderella and wanted to find out who the beautiful girl was. But he didn't even know her name. He found the glass slipper that had come off Cinderella's foot as she ran home. The prince said, "I will find her. The girl who fit with this slipper will the girl that I marry," said the prince. The next day, the prince and his servants took the glass slipper and went to all houses in the kingdom. They wanted to find the lady whose feet would fit in the slippers. All the women in the kingdom tried the slipper, but it would not want any fit. Cinderella's stepsisters also tried on the little glass slipper. They tried to squeeze and also push hard the feet into the slipper. But the servant was very afraid that the slipper would break. Cinderella's stepmother would never let Cinderella to try the slipper. But the prince saw her and said, "Let her to try the slipper," said the prince. And then the prince recognized that the slipper has perfectly fit in Cinderella. As the prince also suddenly said, want to marry Cinderella, and they live happily ever after. Well, everyone, that's the end of the story. So what do you think about the story? And what can you learn from the story? Well, I will tell you something. Cinderella's story teaches us the moral of kindness towards all, forgiving others for doing wrong, and never letting bad things ruin your heart. Alright, so that's the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ari, and see you again next time.